people recognizing what we do, the adrenaline rush. It's actually the ones who are losing who are ultimately going to win. God's provision will come and rest in the lap of the in is so shocking, so unexpected, such a twist on what we think to be true. We have to rethink some of our deepest motivations. There are powerful movements of God that bring life, abundance, true joy, aimed at those who are unimportant, the insignificant, the overlooked. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. These are the words of Jesus recorded in Matthew chapter 5, verse 5. A meek person would probably be viewed as unimportant, ordinary. They're the ones who don't wield any power. Meekness, however, makes someone approachable, normal. They got no pretensions of grandeur. They're like the person next door, the one you might overlook because they're so ordinary. In making this statement, Jesus is actually drawing from a psalm to make this quote. Psalm 37. In this context, there are other than meek people ruling. They're dominating, like the wrong ways are winning. The weak are being overwhelmed and lose out. It's like if you're not forceful, if you're not aggressive, if you're not important, you're not going to work, and the meek are being destroyed. And the psalm says in this context, however, it's actually the ones who are losing, the meek, who are ultimately going to win. If you look at our culture, you might think that there are a few who exercise influence, who have access to whatever they need. The famous, the rich, the social influencers. We have a whole atmosphere that we live in of what we call FOMO, the fear of missing out. That drives us to perform. And the thing is, some succeed, but most fail in that setup. And you feel it internally. It's like we have to be successful and seem to be successful to be anybody. Jesus is saying that his kingdom is not full of superstars. It's full of nobodies. He's not even saying it will be led by superstars. The disciples he will pick to head up this team will be ordinary people from all walks of life. He's saying the endless riches of God's provision and creation will come and rest in the lap of the insignificant. Can you feel the rise of acclamation? People recognizing what we do, the adrenaline rush. Athletes train for that moment of success. And along with it comes this rush. Like when you're recognized at work, or in your peer group, or in a church setting. It's a nice feeling. It's sugary. It's not wrong. But here's the thing, you were not designed to live from it. You can't build your life upon it. The measure to which you feel the high is the measure to which you will feel the low when you're deprived of it. The sugar crash. If you are caught in the cravings for this, you can't live in the now. because you're searching for the pinnacle moment. The ordinariness of the now and the people around you now can be dull and lifeless, not the high you crave. So what do I do with the feelings of enjoyment of a moment of fame? How do I avoid the superstar mentality when I feel this? Well, you don't shut the feelings down. That will be shame that often springs from religion. Rather, recognize it, see it, feel it, and lean in further to feel the deeper flow that's underneath it. This is a chance, in the noise and the sugar of the high, to feel the deep flowing river of energy and warmth and love that you can live from. The flow and energy of the one who's called in Hebrew Ruach, the breath of God moving and flowing through you, whether you are having a sugar high at the moment or not. Be impressed with that. And this gives you an opportunity to lean into that when you could be distracted by the acclamation. So what do I do when I'm overlooked, rejected, not seen for what I do? The same. Feel it. Feel the pain. That's the death pull from the law of sin and death that wants to gain power in your being. Die and feel the death. At that moment, you're experientially united with Christ in his death. The desire to be someone dies. And lean back into his smile. A pleasure not based on what you do, but flows into what you do. The rise, the ascension of his love, pure love, not tainted by the flattery of the worldly swirl around you. That same flow that we learn to live from in the ordinariness of life sustains us in the highs and the lows, in the successes we feel and the failures we feel. That flow, the depths of it, transform ordinary living to a state of beautiful completeness. Bliss in the ordinary because of intimacy with the river. You learn to live from a different place, a heaven realm place. It is unavoidable, written into the fabric of everything, because it's sustained by a God who is like this. His power sustains everything, but he doesn't crave selfish recognition. Those who are not moved by acclamation are not dragged down by depression, but far more than that. They will inherit the earth, because that's how reality works. In the end, meekness, humility, ordinary hearts that are in a flow of calm love to others, not fighting for recognition, they win. They get the inheritance in the end. In the ultimate end, the meek can be trusted with everything. What if I'm famous, you might ask, or what if fame is thrust upon me? Well, to those the scripture gives this advice: because this is actually a difficult situation. Don't become proud. Don't set your hope on the uncertainty of fame, but on God, who is the actual provider of all things. Be generous. Hold on to the worldly honor lightly and give it away. So drink deeply from your rejections. It's a soul-shaping moment. Meekness is calling to you. Whenever you simply love your neighbor without recognition, without agenda, without looking for gain, you're starting to inherit everything.